morning, beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. And I will never get nobody name up. They was like, is that a wig? What was that? I said, I don't know. I don't do hair. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say the other women that was in there. Some that the parents, they was laughing at the gym with me this morning. They said, we know you gonna put them hairstyles. I said, I am. So I know, because we got 130. I said, I am. I'm gonna put it up there. Now, one downvote is Liddell or Kansas. I'm not messing with it.
Rocket.
But look who they said that was Crockett. You got Stephen A. Smith attacking her now. Jasmine Crockett.
Been attacking our whole national, so it ain't nothing new with him. He's the fastest racer. He all that. He let you know who he is. He ain't holding him up.
But he black.
Stephen Miller ain't.
No, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh man.
I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith. You ain't see how they said to us, y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. I mean, listen, hey. Some laugh with you, some laugh at you. They laughed at me plenty of times. I laughing too, shit. But, hey, it is what it is. But boy, we was rolling. They was like, you gonna put them pictures up? I said, I am. She the one brought up content. She said, oh, they trying to use stuff for content. I said, well, she gave it to me. This what I have wanted to say. I was watching one guy. I was looking for his video. And he was talking about, like in Chicago when they raided the hotel. And I get both sides, not the hotel, the apartment complex. But, and as he was breaking it down, and it was like what they doing is, what they not telling people is, and it's bad on both sides, but these was the ones that the Democrats had. Remember when they took them to Martha's Vineyard and everything?
Yeah.
What's up?
I just can't fathom that, right? Like, I'm still stuck on, you touch my kids, I'm touching you. It's that serious. And the fact that he's just letting this man skate by, but a dude who does something peaceful, that rallies the community to do something peaceful, right? How often do we see people today get groups of people together, rile them up, and go set them loose? Jed gathered a group of people, got them focused, and did something productive, and he's the fucking monster? This is some bull.
As we on, as we in the studio. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, the lovely Linda Chilton. You know you in our prayers today, beloved. Hassan Pinchback, thank you for tapping in. Concrete Jungle. Common Sense, what it do? Georgia boy. Top of the morning to you. Good brother Andre Holland, good morning. The lovely Avis Hopkins. How you doing? Thank you for tapping in. The lovely Terry Nixon. You know you're in the building. How y'all doing this morning, family? As usual, I am here. Sorry that I had appointments yesterday. I didn't get to come on but one time with y'all. I mean, Brother Elliot was supposed to come on too, but I went and gave you something that could keep y'all till we got up this morning. So how you doing, beautiful? We are in the buildings. Pick me up for no apparent reason. Yeah, fam, we're gonna give a 8-10 prayer to Linda as she lay her son to rest this morning. You know, we all gonna go through trials like this. It's a trial that we all should get through. But it's nothing like losing a loved one, parent, child, most definitely a child. Oh, Debbie Clark, one half of the Wonder Twins. Thank you for tapping in. Javier Jones, what it do, good brother? Thank you for tapping in. How y'all feeling? It's chilly up here today, man. They said it's supposed to be warmer, but I'm telling you, I had ice on the windshield this morning. The lovely Carolyn Hendricks, good morning. Thank you for tapping in, beloved. I hit that like button as y'all coming in.
It's 42 here today. And it's going to get up to 75.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Nah, it's just, I will say this. It's, let's see what it is. Right now, it's 16 degrees. Right now.
Enjoy.
It's supposed to get up to 39, though. I mean, I'm supposed to be 40. My bad. 40 with the low being 11. But right now, it's cold. It's cold. That's all I can tell you, family. It's cold. So, The lovely Luana Terry is in the building. How you doing, beloved? Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for tapping in. We hit that like button as y'all coming in, and when the show over, come back and hit that hype button. You know what? I'm making it through. I'm fighting through. It is what it is. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think this cold making it no better, but it is what it is. Yesterday, I ain't gonna lie, I was hurting yesterday, so I took a little more time to rest. But other than that, it's all gravy. But you know, it's more more worrying about you. Hope you make it through the day, and the rest of the day is coming ahead, beloved. So what we got, family? We done did. Did y'all like the breakdown that me and Winters went over? Went over the school board. Does it look like every board in the city of Flint, as Winters been saying, is just make you head scratch? Is it like a head scratch? And it like Winters laid some stuff down last night. She laid some stuff down last night when she said, when Joyce was saying, if something wrong, I just did wrong. No, beloved, when you do stuff like that, they will send you to jail for misappropriating funds, but not in Flint. You know, in Flint, maybe she could go to the mayor and cut a deal out. And if I'm just saying, if there's any wrongdoing, like she said, maybe she can go to the mayor and cut a deal out. Who knows?
Joyce for school board?
Yeah.
Nah, that go to the superintendent, who she cut that sweetheart contract for. He's the executive executive branch there, and he already owes her what? How long has he been on that school board? 5 years, or been superintendent 5 years? Going with his contract, that's $500,000. Yeah, he owes her one.
I mean, but you think he really gonna do something? He gonna go against?
Nah, if it comes out to public light, he's gonna take a page from the mayor's book and say, "Oh, well, we can just do a repayment plan. How much can you afford? Oh, you got 6 figures. You get paid 6 figures a year. Okay, $50 a month. Don't worry, sweetheart. We got you. Don't worry."
I mean, hey, this is how they play around here. I think it's
Jaja says, "I see why y'all say Flint ain't real. It ain't. It really fucking ain't. I mean, hell, I was put on a homework assignment last night, and I was asked, Joyce, on any nonprofits? And Early Risers Education Center, but she is not the holder. She is the secretary. But where does Early Risers get its money from? Oh, GISD. Wait. So someone on Flint Community Schools has got a competing preschool, basically, against the Flint Community Schools programs that Clack helped put in place, by the way. She has come up and behind, and she is receiving money from the county school district. Weird. But hey, yeah, no. She might have just misappropriated a few funds here and there. Don't worry about it. Isn't this the same woman who had a preschool prior that was shut down for horrible living or horrible conditions for children?
Was it a daycare center? I'm mistaken.
It was an early child care development center, early child care. It run out of her house, basically.
Mr. Classic, good morning. Tasha Lynn, thank you for tapping in, beloved.
You have such an obsession with small children. Like, if you failed once, why are you going back? And why would, first of all, anyone put you anywhere near a board of early childhood development when you were shut down by the state previously and your license revoked? And then why would people be so blatantly stupid to vote for her in for the Flint Community School Board?
And that's the problem I come in with. I don't think people really be paying attention on these people. Let's be honest, because I didn't went in. I didn't do all my homework. I just, when they said Democrat, you vote for a Democrat. You know, I didn't do all. Good morning, Eleanor Wicker, the lovely Eleanor Wicker. And I agree with you, Mark Hutchinson. That's why I put your comment back up for a second time. I'm putting the lovely Eleanor Wicker up right quick. And I'm going to put it for a third time. When I watched that last night, my continued thought was Flint voted for those people. Why? Ray Charles can see what is going on. Facts.
Flint's just a grab bag. It's not real. Flint is not a real place.
I'm thinking so, Jaja boy.
Yes. If you
Mistaken.
go back to 2023, the summer therein, Wintus and I were still doing the rant before she let me go off and do my own thing. She built me up enough at that point. Her and I sat down at the studio on Lippincott, and I sat down and I brought the paperwork to it. She goes, "Oh, that's old news." I'm sitting here going, "Hold on a fucking minute. This is old news in 2023." And yet she's on the school board. How does that even play out? Like, how is this even a thing? That blew my damn mind. And that's back when I was going into the school board more, because that was right as Clack got on there. He and I had a nice rapport. And I tell him, like, "Hey, dude, I believe you're not part of the bullshit around Flint. Here is your financial audit." And I showed him point by point by point how so much money was being lost there. Remember, Flint Community Schools receives $100+ million a year, and they're still running a deficit. They were missing tens of millions of dollars from their own budget that they couldn't account for. People were going in there with forms filled out in pencil to try to receive money. Remember, Mick and Mac, Twiddledee and Twiddledum, were yelling on other podcasts, "Come and get your money," talking about ESSER funds. ESSER funds were ARPA funds, but specifically designed to help the community schools of communities, right? Your public schools in your community. And they were telling people to come get your money like it was a grab bag, like it's a Halloween bucket that you just walk up to the porch and you pick up a handful. These are the idiots you have in charge of your money in Flint. This is why I'm all against taxes. Because to be quite honest with you, when you pay your income tax, your sales tax, your property tax, this is going to people who handle it like it's their money to give out rather than their money or your money to be spent on you in social programs or aspects or services that you need.
Bonnie Vanner, good morning. Sharon, good morning. Loving Me, good morning. Miss Karaja, good morning. Thank you all for tapping in on this $5 Friday. You heard? I look at it and I see what you were saying, common sense. That's why I kind of find that the lovely Beverly Biggs Levy has entered the building. That's why I kind of find it hard to believe, common sense, to be honest with you. Like, did these people really get elected, or was they getting help to get elected? I find it hard to believe.
As Third Ward proved, as long as you know how to work a pen, you can get elected. As long as you don't get caught out for harvesting ballots, you can get elected. You can have your kids go and fill it out for the people, allegedly, take it, and then turn it into the ballot drop box and get elected. Which, by the way, all three of those things are illegal. Not a relative of the voter not touching it themselves, and then someone not related to the voter at all taking that ballot and putting it somewhere. Ballot harvesting is illegal in Michigan.
I mean, but Mark, I get what you and Common saying, but I still don't believe like nobody's trying to trickle the CV. They are upfront and honest with the BS, and Flint votes for it. The onus is on the residents. Facts, but how can you get the residents out to vote? Flint ain't just started having a hard time getting them out to vote. This ain't just started. Thank you, Shane, with the $5 super sticker. You heard on $5 Friday. Thank you, beloved. That's the family from Georgia. What I'm saying is, we've been had a hard time getting them out to vote. It's a reason they don't want the residents to get out to vote. If you really had, you wouldn't have a Liddell, you wouldn't have had a Leon. It's just easy to cheat.
No, LaShawn.
Oh yeah, or LaShawn. Just think about it. I told y'all, the individual came to Miss Biggs' thing and told about how they allegedly I'm just saying, but he said that wasn't allegedly. How they, Michael B, good morning. Thank you for tapping in. Saying what they did. And then nobody, and thank you, Concrete Jungle. What I got 5 on it. You heard? Thank you, Concrete, for the $5 on a $5 Friday. Hey, Josh, yeah, first they got, but how do they know to want better when it's like we somehow, somewhere we've been struck out. Like I'm being honest with y'all, family. The Flint today to Flint back then is totally different. even from the politicians. I'm not saying, even with my limited knowledge, like I say, very limited knowledge, from my upbringing to seeing how Flint is right now, I don't get it twisted. Even to my parents, I remember my parents used to tell me, "Look, man, we used to leave our doors unlocked, leave our bikes in the front yard. You can't do that now." But I don't know at that time if they was dealing with a thing called crack in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s. That's some dangerous stuff because they're gonna get their fix. I know people was doing heroin, but I don't know how people was still be like, you leave your door unlocked, now you're in trouble. I'm just gonna tell it what it is. But looking at how kids was going to school compared to how there's less kids in the school, comparing the Flint schools to when I came in to what it is now. Even with me, I'm not no valedictorian, but I know how to write in cursive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I took tool and die at Northern. I took wood shop at Whittier. I took Spanish at Whittier. I took French at Whittier. I'm just saying, like, some of the classes that we had, some of the stuff, this is what the schools was offering back then. Is the Flint schools offering that now? I'm just saying, good morning to lovely Deborah Luna in the building. Are they offering that? I mean, I'm hearing a lot of the good ideas, and and it's sad that we're going through another school board, because I'm only putting this on Joyce, the president of the Flint School Board, that said, I don't know if they still. I guess I'm guessing the lovely Linda Chilney is probably having PTA meetings. But to me, what you want to go deal with them you seen up there? Just honestly. I mean, just honestly, they couldn't even agree on can kids have book bags, clear ones, for you can see what's going on. So kids don't carry books to classes no more. So what the lockers is just for only to put your coat in. And I mean, I'm not saying that the schools ain't
If
rough.
they have lockers anymore. When I was going to high school, we didn't have lockers.
See, we had them when I went.
Yeah, no. Apparently, lockers cause too much of a problem because kids would get stuffed in them, or you get your hands slapped on it, whatever. I'm sitting here going like, all right, number one, we've made our kids way too fucking weak. They can't stand a harsh word. And gets them down in their feelings. They start crying like, hold on. Some shit needs to happen. Because the real world ain't too nice. You might as well go through high school and get used to it. But they removed that. So now the kids, they have to carry things back and forth. You realize that more children from the ages of 12 to 18, right when they turn into an adult, have back problems now than they did 30 years ago. Like herniated disc. We're talking actual problems with their spine because we're forcing them to carry all their books in a backpack. You can't leave them at school no more.
I mean, how you do your homework if you don't have a book at home with you for you to do it? I'm just trying to. Good morning, Wanda Smith and Deborah Luna. I'm just trying to figure it out. Like when you see the chaos that's on the school board, just like from last night, paying bills when that came up, even with trustee Melanie Rutherford, her having to call out Joyce. This ain't the first time Joyce been called out. But she get to blame everybody else. This ain't the first time Laura McIntyre called something out where Joyce was looking left out there like a fool. This ain't the first time. And I don't mean to say I believe that I believe that the president of the school board, she probably is an intelligent lady. But I think her style and how she trying to run the board, she's trying to run it like a dictator. And I think this is what let's be honest, Kevin Lynn Jones, superintendent, not gonna go against the president when she helping them. He gonna go with anything that she say because she giving him everything he want. Dude, and that's making sure that job is secure.
I just saw you called it up if they have PTA meetings or not in the schools anymore. I just pulled it up, just taking a look, and the topmost articles from ABC News from 2020 of a PTA attendee making a racist remark about Hispanics. Another 2020 Then it's got FBOE. Okay, so their regular school board meetings. It doesn't really show any actual PTA meetings. It's like the parents are disinterested now. Go figure. No, Luana Terry's correct. When my oldest started going to high school, then my youngest joined right after a year later. Everything, and I do mean everything, was on a laptop. They just gave the kids a laptop, sent them home. What is it? The not notebook. It's the damn Google one. So low RAM, low memory piece of crap. And that way they could tell the kids, oh, you can attend lectures at home via Zoom. Oh yeah, and make sure your camera's on. Why the hell do you need to see inside my house? Why do you need to see my, like, I get that you want to see that my kid's interest and such, but you don't need to see my kid's bedroom. You don't need to see anything in my house.
See, this is what I didn't know.
They keep on trying to creep into our homes. It's really creepy.
See, I didn't understand that. See, when they moved to increased tech, they moved to digital textbooks. My kids only had iPad. See, my daughter graduated like 3 years ago. My son went to U of M. But my daughter, they still, and Carmen, they still have books they brought home. They might have went to fully text, but they still have books. I know I had to pay for one for my daughter that she lost.
Oh, that's is that a high school thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because my oldest graduated 2 years ago. Never had a physical book. Those damn Google laptops.
Yeah, I get it. Some schools didn't have it, but I'm telling you, and Carmen, them still at that time they did. They might be done. Good morning, no trouble. Thank you for tapping in, and good morning to you, teacher lady. I get it. They went, but damn.
Mott Community College. So they have a high school department there where my oldest went. My youngest obviously went to a charter school, and she also got a piece of crap laptop. But I mean, Flint Community Schools in and of themselves, with $100 million budget, they're still running Spanish books that Clack's name is in. He was looking to see if his aunt's name was in it.
I didn't have books like that where they did. I mean, they would just hand me down.
It's 2025. Like, at what point are they going to reinvest into books? I don't mind paper medium, right? I like books, but they're not even going to invest in that. They're using books from the 70s and 60s still for our children in Flint.
Denise Cousins, good morning. I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying, but how do you expect to get something out of them, being honest with you? How do you, I mean, just look at something, and I'm not trying to be funny and nothing. I know last night a lot of people was probably I wasn't trying to be funny when I said the lovely Linda Booth shouldn't be on that on the school board, because they're not challenging. It's like they get on there and whatever Joyce say, they go right along with it. And it's sad that you only see one person calling them out, and this time it had to be Melanie Relaford, trustee Melanie Relaford. It's sad. It's sad that when you being called out on some stuff that you feel like is not being done proper. And then just like even the superintendent, like, do I got to tell you when I pay? You're not paying the water bill. You're not paying the cable bill. You're paying a $17,000 bill. Let's get that first, get that straight. What you paying?
Have a corrective action plan.
And I mean, and what's wrong? You just going to pay something without not doing your due diligence on it or anything? See, that to me is, but like I said, you're not going to see the superintendent rock the boat. Why would you rock the boat when you got the lady that's running the school board going to keep renewing your contract? Would you rock the boat on that?
No. I mean, once again, 5 years there, $500,000 in, and that's just his base pay. We're not even playing with the fringe benefits, the car provided, maintenance, gas, or all the travel he gets to do, as well as they pay for him to upkeep his credentials. That's another couple, dozen thousand a year. So when you realistically look at it, he's probably, $750,000 up.
And do I see something wrong with trustee Relaford calling that out, being suspicious? No. You supposed to want to have some check, but it seems like it's no checks and balances, like it ain't for the mayor. Ain't no checks and balances. And where's the state rep in on that? Where's she at?
Here's my problem with trustee Relaford calling it out. Right. Just because I saw the way she did Clack. And she's probably a beautiful, wonderful woman. She's probably, but once again, if you're a politician, in my mind, I don't trust you. You have to earn my trust all over again, whether I knew you on the outside before you got in or what, or I'm just meeting you as a politician. Just seeing the way she did Clack, I'm wondering, maybe this is a political maneuver for her, not doing it for, actual good purposes and showing up and, hey, this, you're doing the kids wrong. In my mind, this could just be a political move of her trying to look good as she's trying to get into something else. Remember, not every race is closed yet. They haven't closed your filing season yet. She may decide, hey, if I look good enough, I might run for state rep. Or, hey, there's so many seats open on Flint City Council, I can just say I live in one of these wards. They never really check. Take a look at 21. Take a look at Dumas. Take a look at Leon. Take a look at Liddell. She could just jump on there. And, hey, that pays better than $35 a meeting, right? That comes out to $20,000+ a year. She might just jump on that.
Well, we'll see. Well, then if she's not running for none, then what?
I'm still going to have to wonder, was she doing it for another reason until proven otherwise? And that's just everyone in Flint. Literally everyone. Hell, I still don't trust Dennis. And I happen to like the guy personally, but every move he makes, I have to sit there and go, all right, what's the back end? It's the same thing with anyone in any position in Flint or on any of those boards, just like the ENA. I'm pretty sure Joe King is a wonderful man. But when he sits there and go and is shown proof that his signature was forged, and he goes, it's electronic. No, you know better than that, Mr. King, but you're sweeping it under the rug. Why? And on and on and on it goes.
Well, everybody can have a change of heart. And I'm not saying, people can look at it that with us. Any subject that we talk about, a person can get an opinion on what they might feel. You know what I'm saying? And a person might, anybody at any minute can be like, I don't trust them. I got to wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can do. What's up to lovely Sherry Allen that tapped in? And I don't know if it's even 2,900, to be honest with you, Mark Hutchison. I think it's less than that.
Give me a second. I've got his. Well, I'll just do a quick search of FCS
I think it's
population.
From what I heard it's less than that. As far as the numbers, but yeah, the way he's getting paid like when the district had over 12,000 students here, and that should be an alignment. What up, Derek Williams? That should be alignment.
So Mark had it very close. I mean, you might as well round it up and say he's 100% correct. But based on 2023-24 data, Flint Community School District had enrollment of approximately 2,886 students across 14 schools. And then it says this, here's where the fun propaganda comes in. I love propaganda year or propaganda season. This number reflects a stabilization in enrollment compared to previous years with student teacher ratio of 25-1. The district serves students from pre-kindergarten to 12th grade. The only reason it stabilized is because the other schools on the outskirts are full up and they can't take any more Flint students.
I'll still.
Fact is.
I'll have to see the hard numbers because you can.
Well, this is
type of game,
and mind you, this is because they only take a census, as it were, on count days. So that is the average of the 2 count days a semester that showed up, right? Your average daily student population is probably closer to 2,200 to 2,100. Now let me go through my gmail.com and let's look up a contract, shall we? Come on. DocuSign, nope. Nope.
Let me see what Carolyn Hendricks said. The superintendent is getting too much money money. Flint schools are not doing a proper job of teaching students. Spend that money getting more qualified teachers. They keeping that money for themselves. I thought you round down in Flint and inject sarcasm.
Exactly. You round down.
That's why
He's right.
That's why I'm being honest. I don't even know if it's that. They just see what I'm saying. Common sense. But it's the game that they playing. And I said it earlier. If they're gonna bring all these different programs back to the Flint schools, then you might want to have some. Oh, Mama Quill, you ain't never late. Then you might well have. Good morning to you. You might well have.
I was wrong. Superintendent shall be paid an annual 12-month salary rate of not less than $169,500 in consideration of his performance and duties and responsibilities of the position assigned in confidence with the requirements and expectations of the board as scheduled by the board. The superintendent's salary shall be prorated for the year covering November 17th, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Okay. Annual salary 26 by monthly Let's go take a look at tax deferred annuity.
What's
the
up,
board
shall
contribute the following amount as a non-elective contribution to a 403b annuity designated by the superintendent from a list of eligible programs available through the school district's 403b program. $10,000. The board shall remit this contribution no later than June 30 as part of the merit pay. The board agrees that the superintendent receives a highly effective rating on his annual performance evaluation pursuant to paragraph 5 of this contract. Superintendent shall receive an additional $2,000 payment. The board shall remit this payment, if any, no later than June 30 as part of the superintendent's compensation for the contract year ending on the date. Automotive allowance. The board shall provide the superintendent with a $700 per month automotive allowance. Reimbursement of expenses. Consistent with board policy, the school district shall reimburse superintendent for all reasonable expenses from the performance of his duties as superintendent, including travel, meals, lodging, in accordance with school district's per diem expense and reimbursement procedures not to exceed $5,000 each school year. Superintendent shall comply with all district legal and regulatory requirements concerning reporting and recording of these expenditures. Professional development. Subject to approval by the school board president and consistent with board policy, superintendent may attend appropriate professional meetings at the local, state, and national level and shall be reimbursed for his related registration fees, tuition, travel, lodging, reasonable meal expenses not prepaid by the board in accordance with board policy. I want to point out right here real quick, though, subject to approval by the board president. It doesn't have to go before the board. It just has to go to Joyce. Professional dues. The school district shall pay superintendent's association dues for membership in the American Association of School Administrators and the Michigan Association of School Administrators. The district will pay the cost of other memberships for the superintendent with the board president's approval. Insurance programs. Upon proper application acceptance for enrollment by the appropriate insurance underwriter, policy writer, or third-party administrator, the board shall make premium payments on behalf of the superintendent and his eligible dependents for the following insurance programs or comparable programs, subject to possible modification. If the superintendent elects to opt out of health insurance, he is to receive a $2,000 in lieu of health insurance. The $2,000 will be paid as follows: $1,000 paid on the last pay date in the first semester, and $1,000 paid on the last pay date in the second semester to be eligible for this payment.
Good morning, Jennifer.
You want to talk about sweetheart deals? Tell me that this isn't one.
Let me see, Kenneth. I'm surprised they haven't figured out some kind of way to dip into the cash from the water settlement to keep from giving out to the people. They working on it. Let me see what said. This is why the city of Flint schools are broken. Kids don't get programs. Facts. But it's another one, too. I just looked at this on Facebook.
$700 a month for automotive. You realize my wife's really nice big blue truck that you've seen, buddy? That only cost me $593 a month.
Wow. I just got this off Sis Audrey page. You see Michigan 2027 state budget do not include funding for programs to help the children affected by the Flint water crisis. We have to stand and help ourselves. Flint is not fixed. That's what I'm saying.
Thank your mayor. Thank your mayor and thank your state and thank your governor. They're the ones running around the country saying, hey, the Flint water crisis is done. So what's the state legislature going to do? Hey, no one's telling me that there's still problems in Flint. I can stop paying it. Thank your state rep.
No, I got to thank the Republicans because if you know they lying, and why would you still go do that if you're trying to prove a point? See, this is where I get into it with. This is what when you like the Republican Party, they ain't shit neither because they know the water not fixed because you so mad at the Trevor. Let's don't play this game right now.
I'm just gonna point out that it wasn't just the Republicans that voted on that.
But that's the game that's being played though, both sides, and I told you that this morning. Both sides playing that game. They know the water not fixed, but they don't give a fuck. Let's just be honest and say what it is. Ain't no this person is worse than this person is. Both of them ain't shit. Cause you got Trump your president, but you know what your side to say? Well, they voted for the Democrats. Well, they've been messing off money. What about all the money that been messed off? They'll keep funding shit that they want. But when you looking at your people, that's why I be saying, y'all can go look at a war going over in Ukraine and can feel bad for that, but you can see motherfuckers dying here and don't give a fuck about it. You're just, they spending money. They ain't wasting money fighting that bullshit war over in Ukraine. Tell me they not wasting money on that.
I've come out against that war, so I don't know why you're coming at me about that.
No, because I'm you. Listen, we listen. I'm just speaking opinion. You on the show. Who the fuck else I'm gonna talk to if I'm not talking? Okay. You on here. That's all. But what I'm saying is how we can easily come and say, like you said, well, they said the governor said it's right. Well, where the Republicans at, Trevor? Where's they at? Why the Republicans ain't saying nothing? The best thing they can say is, well, the Democrats running around saying it ain't no, the water is fixed. Like, so they gonna play into the game they playing. So this the way is to cut the money off. Their whole thing is cut the money off and go spend it some other way.
Mick, I don't know what to tell you other than hear me out.
Go ahead.
Flint is not anyone else's responsibility at the state legislature but Cynthia Neely. It is no one else's fucking job to advocate for Flint there. At the state senate, it is no one else's fucking job to advocate for Flint than John Cherry. If neither one of them are going to speak up for Flint, other people have other areas. Just like Detroit. Detroit's not speaking up for Flint. Why? Because Detroit reps have to worry about Detroit. If you have a rep that's a fucking mute, that's on that rep's head. It doesn't matter if that's Republican, doesn't matter if that's Democrat, doesn't matter if that's Libertarian, Green Party, it doesn't matter if that's the fucking stop sign down the street if that's who you elected. If they're not speaking for you, they're not speaking for you. That ain't on party, that's on an individual.
You standing by that, right?
I'm standing by that.
Well, why the fuck do they come down here want to get the vote out of Flint then? Because, your governor coming up this way to get votes? No, you just said your governor coming up this way, your senators coming up this way. If I'm not mistaken, you even got Republicans coming up this way to get votes. But going by your logic, but then why they coming here then? Why you need to vote? If you don't care about what's going on, you saying this representation. I'm just saying, why they coming here to get votes?
You just jumped governments there. I'm literally saying state government. Now, governors, all of them coming there. They're all going to promise you shit. They probably ain't going to give you shit.
What's up, Constance?
Flint's too small. And Flint ain't going to fucking put up a fight. Flint's just going to vote for whoever the fuck they tell you to vote for. Period. End of story. But when it comes to your state rep, your state rep's a mute. When it comes to your state senator, he's a fucking mute. You could put a red tie on him and call him a Republican all day. If he's still a mute, he's a fucking mute and he's worthless.
So it ain't no. Is it any Republican senators in Michigan?
Senators like federal or?
I'm saying not in Michigan.
In Michigan, yeah, you have Republicans in the UP.
What's up, Donnell Meredith?
I'm talking about your state government, your state, because we're talking about the state budget there, right?
Mm-hmm. Does
your federal senator or your federal congressperson have any say in your state budget? No.
I look. Hey Jennifer, I can believe that. She said I spoke and was criticized and gone after that. My township was speaking out at Flint City Council in December 2024. That tell you all you need to know. Like when it's a collective effort to keep this thing down about what's going on in Flint, the water crisis. It's a collective effort. But I just be confused where people act like they don't know what's going on in Flint. It just confuses me. That's all. It just confuses me. Even if we want to go with that, you got Senator Cherry. Is he still a senator right now?
Yeah, he's your state senator.
You got Rivet.
He goes to Lansing.
Rivet then took over, killed these spot fires in Congress. I just it just baffled my mind that we still having this conversation. The
I think
Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist been
Scott
here.
is.
Ripken been here.
Did
Dana
Scott get elected?
who?
Scott.
What's
He
up?
is
I ain't going nowhere.
He was a black Republican dude that ran for Senate. Did he get elected? Like
I
federal
don't,
Senate?
I don't know. I doubt Michigan has sent somebody black there.
Let's take a look. Michigan senators. No, you got Slotkin and Peter. Fuck Peters. Anyway, I thought Scott won. I could have swore he did.
You could put Michigan in the goddamn South and couldn't tell the difference.
Except for the accent.
But not the laws and rules like we got sundown towns around here in 2026.
You got more sundown towns in Michigan than I do in North Florida, which is considered part of the Deep South.
Yeah, but you can't compare Florida and Michigan.
You just said you could transplant Michigan to the Deep South. This is considered the Deep South.
Mississippi. Facts, Kenneth. Facts. Well, they run.
I'm just because everyone believes that there's this big cultural divide at the Mason-Dixon line. Oh, if you're south of the Mason-Dixon, you're X, and if you're north of the Mason-Dixon, you're a cultured, civilized person. Get fucked. Take a look at Michigan. All right, now let's take a look at Mississippi. Same. Take a look at, let's say, New York.
She said John James was his name.
Take a look at New York and take a look at South Florida. Same.
Cheers.
There ain't no big difference between anything just looking at the Mason-Dixon line.
I mean, let me say, I think that people of color would know best what they experience in the Deep South. I mean,
okay, I'll shut up. That's no problem.
People of color do know what the difference is, because you wouldn't have a lot of people who did left, even though it came during the General Motors and everything. But to me up here, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, like, because we can go pull all these different scenarios up. You know what I'm saying? I remember when we was going down to Atlanta, it was going to Georgia, and they was like, hey, look, don't stop at this town. You keep it, go ahead and push it through. It's just the experience, and that's all it is. It's just experience. I agree with Trevor that it's not what people think in the South. When I'm there, I've been treated better than the North. No, I mean, in certain areas, facts. I agree with that, certain areas. I don't know if it's still the same, because we be running in this, like, you be seeing certain incidents that be going on down there, like with the Kendrick Johnson story. Then when you hear about what happened in Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? You run into a lot of things that we probably, because I don't know, do they report it here? Said people think it's only the South that was horrible. No. It wasn't just the South. You can look up here. You can go to Ohio. They even got some towns in Ohio, people. Just go. I was shocked about North Carolina having sundown towns. When I guess it depends on when you're doing certain little history stuff. You
honestly,
yeah.
I think the further west you go, the less sundown towns you have. Last map I looked at, I think it's an east-west divide for the most part, rather than a north-south.
Okay, what Jasmine says. Let me see what she put this up. She said the politics, however, I trash for anyone of color, but I also don't live there, so can't speak to the live experiences of people of color in the South. Facts. Kenneth said pockets of the North, but the whole state's in the South. Let me see. This if Illinois to be a blue state, we have sundown towns still. Don't mess around in Effingham and Anna. It said, let me see. I'm sure any place, Mama Quill, you find black people and white people together, you're going to find a sundown town. I mean, I guess you can say that. Listen, it is what it is. I'm just saying, as far as with this Flint water, I don't see why. And to me, it's both of them. You're not seeing, and that's what I said. And that's just my humble opinion. I didn't appreciate that the Republicans, even though it was more Democrats, I get it. They want to cut the funding off. But why not? Why they couldn't do something different to redirect it? Because remember, Only the 94 million came through to this current mayor. Remember the other that what $1 billion? It went to the state.
640 million from the concerned pastors, I believe.
Went to the
that
state,
settlement. Went to the state that the mayor had access to the account to.
But she had
direct contractors too. Yes.
Right. She had to direct the contractors too. Well, this mayor got the 94.7 in the coffers, right?
Yep.
That's the point that I'm saying. Like, why the Republicans, in my humble opinion, I get as far as what they was doing. Why, and just to cut it off, I get it because money was going to the wrong places. But why not make sure it went to the right places? I mean, you just cut the funding off. Why not come in and get control of it, how it was going, and cut out the friends, brothers, and in-laws?
How do you get control of it, Mick?
By bringing different people in, the ones who has been going through. Or do you keep it in the same hands? You already seen the state.
Those hands are all elected. That's on people to vote for. And that's not Republican, Democrat. I'd vote for whichever side you want. As you said this morning on the phone with me, you got to start electing moral people.
I say that all the time. Yeah, but we not.
You got to start because you aren't getting no moral people. But to get more moral people in, to run in Flint, you either have to find them and drag them out of their house and then subject them to the hell that is Flint politics.
But who the ones causing the nasty politics?
Those are the ones that are already making the money there. Why are they going to give up their money game? And shit. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this privately. I'm going to redact some names here. But when you see certain people that stand up and they have a damn good chance of winning any one of those seats, and then they suddenly withdraw. Why? There's a lot of things. Well, I don't want my family subjected to this. I don't want my wife's name dragged through the mud. I don't want to be accused of a affair that I never had. But guess what? It's going to stick. You can't unring a bell. That could ruin a marriage. I don't want my kids dragged through this shit like we saw with Dennis's kids being posted all over the fucking internet because of a lie. You're not going to get moral people because moral people have a first obligation to their family. And they're not going to put their family through that. You might get older folks. Older folks are already, all right, my kids are grown up, moved on. They can take care of themselves. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and run. But majority of them are like, fuck it, it is what it is. I'm just here until I'm not.
I'm going to play devil's
I can't blame them either.
I'm going to play devil's advocate to that conversation right there. I don't think they was moral to begin with because let's be honest. People can say what they want to say. I think a lot of these people, they know they already morally already corrupted. They be scared it's gonna come out because certain things they did behind the scenes they don't want to come out. Only scared people be scared, they don't want their business to come out. That's why you do business behind the scenes because you don't want the truth to come out with it. I just think a lot of them people who be want to run be knowing they corrupted.
I can agree with you on a huge part of that, but at the same time, you've been a victim of some of them lies.
And guess who still ain't stopped doing what they was doing?
You.
Right, because I knew there was lies. That's the point that I'm making. When you know it's lies and you ain't did nothing, you don't care about it. You only care about it if it's some real shit they got on you. That's really when you go to panicking.
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't panic off of lies. I don't panic off of lies.
Some shit like, go after my kids. Or you start doing some shit with them, like, I'll drop right out the bat. Nah.
They didn't brought my daughter name up like in text message. Like I said,
there's difference between you and I. You'll keep on going, but if I were running for office and some people started sending me pictures of my kids, I'm dropping. The first thing I'm doing is going hunting.
No, I'm not. Nah, Jarvis, I'm not being naive. I'm not being naive. You might don't like the conversation though. Everybody, they do be having little what's names in their back. I mean, we talking about people been having, like when they bring stories up on them, like this person did this. A lot of times, some of them stories be true when you be seeing people want to back out. They don't want to tell you stuff they did behind the scene. That's what I'm talking about. If you just coming out on a lie, no, I'm not going to hide from that. You think a person said, listen, listen.
Or the other ways they come at you.
Oh, no, they
They
will
could-
come at you, but I
They
know
can take your job. They
Yeah,
can take your side. They can take you. Hell, I've heard of some people in Flint getting kicked out of their church, being basically excommunicated, shunned. You are no longer welcome there.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be your spiritual family. But because of some politics, someone said a word and it got around, and now your spiritual family is no longer your spiritual family. They will cut you the fuck off. Like some people, that's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's on a rumor.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Mark Hutchison. Thank you. I mean, because what I'm saying is a lot of time we be thinking these people we think the people they be presenting to us is the most moral compass of them all. Let's be honest. And I'll go back to you with this. Don't get me wrong. I got, the time I was over there, but could you have told me that they would have played with us like that, threw that out there on me and went? I wouldn't have thought they would have did that because I thought they wouldn't play in them games like that. I thought
tried throwing some really sideways shit out there about you.
I thought it was just neatly side to play like that. So, I'm being honest. I'm saying this was just me how I thought it was. I thought, and I still think they did do a lot of damage to the former mayor, Dr. Weaver. But you'd have thought I thought she would have came back and did it like that. No, I ain't think she would probably.
You would think that she'd have some empathy for it. Like,
no, not
hey,
that.
This sort of lie and these sort of horrible things were done to me. I'm not going to do that to no one else.
Yeah.
And then it turns around and she had her social media guy come back and go at you hard.
I mean, if you call that, but I see that was the thing. I didn't. That's what I'm saying.
The man was even attacking your religion.
Like, I mean, that don't, Trevor, you know what I mean?
I know that don't affect you, but
I mean, people attack everybody. I come on here and talk about Christians, the Christian church. So you think I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Listen, dude, it's only if they shake your faith, man. That's the problem with your faith and shit. No, like with me, I don't be paying it. I didn't really want to speak on it, but I was saying how many people was playing with it. And that's why it made me come out there and speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But I mean, you got to have thick skin when you come in this. When people see your face, when they start to see and they can start critiquing you, that's just a part of the game. You got to accept that. I'm not saying, oh, if they come out here, saying I got this on you. I'll do this and that to you. I'm not saying it's some stuff. That's why you don't see me go mess with a lot of stuff. But shit, I'm messing with enough that got people mad. Don't you know? I got like, what'd happen if you run into these people? I said, I hope nothing happen. But I'm gonna defend myself if we happen to run into each other. You know what I'm saying? If you get mad because we come on report what you doing, like every time I run into the man, I see him. You know what I'm saying? I done seen him twice when I was with Winters. He'd come over to speak. Been to tap me on the shoulder sometimes, be like, what if he just had a poison ring on and did that to me like that? You know what I'm saying? That's what my mind be going on shit like that. And I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, like, look, dude, long as it's respect, it's respect. You know what I'm saying? We can disagree with each other, but as far as that, you're going to be in my face hooping and hollering. That's not going down. You know what I'm saying? No, let me see. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying on certain things. And I'm going to take the high road 90% of the time until I can't take it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I roll until I can't take it. Like, it is what it is. Let me see this right here what Donnell Meredith said. Flint chose Liddell over Maurice because he asked Trump for help. So there's your morals in Flint politics. I've been telling people that. I said it last night. What happened? They wanted Democrats to get in power doing Biden. Then they was going to do something. Got in Flint while they're still in. And I'm saying Trump could have easily came in and said, let's get the Flint thing situated. He didn't want to because that's not what he worried about. He could have came in and did that and pissed people off.
Rethink that a little bit. Because I've seen where presidents have stepped in during actual crises like hurricanes, wildfires, XYZ, and get told to fuck off by the governor. So we'll take Trump out of this for a minute. We'll take Biden out of this for a minute because you know my distaste for Biden. I know everyone's distaste for Trump. If the governor of Michigan at the time did not like Obama and he came in and tried to do the Army Corps of Engineers, there's a strong chance that they could have told Obama to fuck off. They could have just kicked him the fuck out and said, no, this is a state issue, and used the Ninth Amendment, which is states' rights, to prevent federal overstep. That's just something that I've been mulling around lately. Because they could. I mean, should they? No. Because this is an actual crisis that is hurting people still.
Did they get
what,
federal
12 years?
Yeah, did they get federal money?
Oh, they can take federal money. They'll take money, but actual stepping in as our quickest fix, our most efficient fix that you and I have thought of, was the Army Corps of Engineers. Excuse me. The Army Corps of Engineers just come in, get it done. No muss, no fuss, no contracts, no money to go to FBI, just a bunch of dudes in a uniform with a wrench and a backhoe.
But the question is, how would you know unless you do it? So we just going on speculation.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm saying it could have, but you're right. Because they very well, I mean, coin flip could say, no, you know what? I may not like you, President such and such, but I really need the help. Please send it. I'm just saying, like, that is a thing that could have happened.
But we don't know until
we don't know. Yes, we won't know.
Yeah, and if they would have did it, because you can't be saying 14 years later and you seeing people still dying. You got, look, Art then got a cancer cluster study where people getting detected, early detections for cancer. You mean to tell me that can't no president come in and see that this thing has been fumbled? It don't look like it's a national security here. Fires on. I ain't gonna say national security, but
no.
you don't think that should open some eyebrows up to be like, hold up, you mean to tell me we got to do cancer studies here from what happened to the people in Flint, and you mean to tell me the water still ain't fixed? They're like, they ain't break no rules or nothing. The pipe's not done. Like we got told at the ENA board we need to go FOIA to see how many pipes been done, when we know the whole infrastructure should have been done. So, you know,
from plant to house to tap.
Yeah, but they only did the one thing, the one pipe that they talking about. And then doing the restorations of the
this big. That's it. And a couple mains. A couple.
Okay, well, here it goes. Jennifer Stanton said the Republican Oversight Committee asked for it already to the DOJ. But what's
now I'm going to hit the pause button here. Jennifer, I need you to answer. Republican Oversight Committee, state party, federal party, state legislature, or Congress? You got to go through that. Like, just because it could be the party itself asking for it, the party itself has zero fucking power if it's not elected officials. It could be the federal and the state could say, no, we got it. Just obviously, like the state legislature said, no, we're not giving any more money to Flint because the crisis is resolved, right? So it really does matter who requested it, because Republican Oversight Committee asked for it by the DOJ. That could be absolutely nothing, just a show. Like, I'm not going to give them a softball pitch here.
She's saying Regis can call Matt Hall or Steve Carrara. I'm saying Kara to ask for help for Flint. And that's what I'm saying. You would think these people would want to bring the help here, in my humble opinion. I'm just saying you would think. And yes, this is
Michigan State Representative. Give me a second. Let's see which district he represents. 36.
What's up, Granny G? Thank you for tapping in. Good morning to you.
Sturgis and Three Rivers looks to be his area. In the far lower left-hand corner. But once again, he's got his own areas to look at. We'll see if the House Oversight Committee or the Legislative Oversight Committee does anything, but they're probably going to call Cynthia Neely up there and say, hey, is things fixed? And they're going to have to take hers, and they might subpoena the mayor and the governor and say, hey, are things fixed?
Well, let's go through it and do it. That's the only thing let's do it. That's what I'm talking about. Do it. Because they'll come rush for anything else. That's what I'm saying. They'll go look and be seeing shit in their own yard, but they can look across the seas. And I understand it because that's big business. But damn, fix up here first and then go handle. They can do two things. You can fix your infrastructure here. There's no way that we Flint people should be living like a third world country, bathing in bad water. So now what we're gonna find out it cause skin cancer. Like, how many more cancers do they want? They want to find out how many cancers the water can cause here. That's what it is now. It's like a big experimentation going on in Flint with the residents. We're gonna see how many cancers we can find out. Because to me, it's like this is like again, how they experimented on people. And that's they don't get me wrong. I get it. The doctors come in here, but it was some man, Brother Roberts, was having a conversation with. Oh, thank you, Granny G. You ain't never late, beloved. Just for showing up. Thank you. And thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, late coming in, but remember it's $5 Friday, people. And this what I'm saying, like with the Tuskegee experiment. When you're looking at all the different things they've been experimenting. Like Brother Roberts told me, he said, Mickey, he said the real action don't start till you find out you got it. That's when it's really gonna start. You gotta go there. You know how people probably going to get the test praying just to even find out you gotta go get a test. Do you know that's what is playing on the person's psyche? See, we not weighing all of them options like that. When you find out you got, that's when the real test start. To me, it's just crazy. See, Donnell Merrill says Cynthia Neely is threatening to sick the state police on residents for calling her for help. She's doing that. Listen, man, the mayor put her in that job to keep that paycheck coming in. Let's quit playing games, family, and acting like we don't like. She doing. He's really the mayor and the state rep. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. All the time she been there, I still don't think she not a write a bill, in my humble opinion, and I could be wrong. But Carol, you know what it is? That cancer custody stuff. It's more people finna get paid from that. So we ain't talking about the money that people gonna make. The experimental drugs they gonna come up with, all the studying they finna do. The people who might benefit from this going on, it might be 30, 40 years down the road. When they gonna say, okay, we got this. They know where the problem came from. But what's the cure? That's what Brother Roberts was saying. Damn that, do you have a cure? Is the real question. Just giving me some drugs to prolong me and suffer. That's really how they want to go. They have not wanted the health and cancer issues. I mean, he fought like hell, but that's what I'm saying. You got a state rep, but she gonna win again. Ain't gonna have no debates. School board members probably gonna win again. And still gonna be ran by the same people. You gotta look at it. I remember when Winters asked about that when Dylan Luna came in her group. That's when they, election time, them people gonna reach out to you. What do y'all want us to do? And then he fell out with his own and put her back as the president and knowing all the games she played. And he's the what is he, the treasurer?
Dylan Luna, I believe.
Yeah, he's the treasurer.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me y'all just paying bills? Joyce don't want to talk about the check rep. Why she don't want to talk about it? Ain't this what you supposed to talk about? What's up, A. Spragg? And shout out to Jed and his Iron 18. Carol, that's what I'm saying. But look how many people that done died from this whole thing. You know how many people been dying, man, from this water crisis? I remember watching Jordan Sheraton when he was coming doing his wussing. Now he's like, when he come back, the people be gone. Every time he leave and come back, because he gonna be here in April for the when they do the water anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, facts, Carol Kincaid. They know it's not. And that they stop funding the money. The money for the health and social workers in school because they say the water is fixed. Have you seen the damage from the kids from this water? Like, I don't think they really understand the repercussions that I know they do, but they just basically saying they don't care no more.
You know how it's propaganda season.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to ask how many people died from the Flint water crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to catch your breath and be angry?
Nah, just come on with it.
Officially, 12 people died. Officially.
That's how they gonna play. I told you when you got the people who who telling the story, you know what I'm saying? So they not gonna make it look bad.
Now, however, independent investigations and scientific studies suggest the true death toll is likely much higher. There's been a spike in pneumonia deaths, 115 deaths attributed to pneumonia during the crisis period. Delayed fatalities, at least 20 additional confirmed Legionnaire's patients died later from causes commonly linked to the disease. Lead poisoning impacts. While no specific number of deaths is officially attributed directly to lead poison, the crisis exposed 6,000 to 12,000 children to dangerous lead levels. Lead exposure is linked to long-term cognitive, behavioral, and physical health issues. That's it. That's all they got on there.
Because that's how they gonna do it. They gonna say it's not a crisis. You got the mayor running around. We going from crisis to recovery. Look like we back in crisis. And then he got people sold on it. And that's what's it's sad. He got people sold on it. To me, it's like one big illusion. But ain't nobody gonna cry. And what doctor's gonna say that the water caused these cancers? You ain't gonna get no doctor to say that. Let's be honest. You're not gonna get no doctor to say that. You're not even gonna get no doctor to say that some of these kids.
No, that's cool, Alan. That shit happens.
Yeah. No, you good. But you ain't gonna get nobody in trouble for that. It's just a fact. But, and like I say, there's no way in the world that Snyder should have been off the hook for this situation here. It should have went all the way up to the top, but it's not gonna go like that. Gretchen Whitmer came right in. What she do? She didn't. They fumbled. Did they fumble it on purpose? Did they fumble that case on purpose?
You see, I'm still of the opinion that it was a fucking accident. Now, don't get me wrong. It was an accident based in malice and greed, but an accident. And I do believe people should be in prison for it. A lot more than what they only gave 2 people civil charges, fucking fines at best. I mean, they were bitching about the Detroit water. They wanted a cheaper solution. So they KWA. Okay, we're going to do the KWA. Oh, but Detroit's still too expensive. We won't be able to finish the KWA and make our money. What do? Oh, you heard AC Dumas say it. Blesses the mother has, or blesses the mother, blesses the father, blesses the child that has. We have the Flint River right here. The man's own words. So they swapped over to that, not realizing that all the shit in the Flint River and all the car batteries, all the random chemicals that have been thrown in there from GM to DuPont to Lear, Lockhart, all them ran through and into those lead pipes, stripped off the anti-corrosion coating, and threw lead and other such fun chemicals down the pipes into people's bodies. I don't think it was an intentional sabotage, because that is one hell of a costly intentional sabotage. And they found a way to come up on the end of it, but it still cost a lot of people a lot of money.
Well, Carol Kincaid said, not accident. They were informed, do not flip that switch without proper buffering agent, period. And here goes the other one about Detroit. Said the issue with Detroit water was conjured just to push exactly what they did.
It was a financial gain. They didn't think that it was going to hit people. I don't think that they thought it was going to hit people with lead and Legionella and the other literally thousand and sundry other issues. Now, negligence in and of itself in this case is a crime.
I'm looking at this. Yes, they did. Snyder was Gretchen's biggest campaign contribution.
Who was she running?
That's where they all work together. We still haven't got that, Mark Hutchinson. Then it says Granny G says check out worldwide, check out Wolverine Worldwide in Rockford and Belmont, Michigan for when cancer spikes real high from the water. I mean, like, some of this stuff is not by accident. I mean, it's not accident.
I'm going to float something here. Okay. And it is in response to Mark. Who paid AC to say that? Let's connect some dots here. You have one person who was on city council at the time who was vehemently hard opposed to the KWA. No. We're not switching. Got called into a private meeting. Next meeting of Flint City Council, the man now has a seat, a paid-in seat on the bond for the KWA. That's money. That's quite a bit of money. That is a business that has 0 assets, 0 employees, built with government dollars, and is only 100% profit. Because they needed his vote, they let him buy in. He now has 2 seats, technically. One that he bought himself, and one because he's the mayor of Flint, Michigan. Kind of like the same reason why AC ran as a write-in in the 3rd Ward. Kind of makes you think, who's AC's payroll really? He didn't run. Yeah, he ran as a no. He ran against Ms. Bev Biggs. Thank you. Ran against Ms. Bev Biggs, even though he was urged to drop out prior. And his votes could have gone to Ms. Bev Biggs and would have pushed her over the edge over LaShawn. Think about that for a minute.
I'm looking at what Carol says. She said, Trevor, you know from your experience, these issues are well vetted. They just hoped it could pass without notice. We fought emergency manner for years. In the end, was the issue. And I'm looking at Zachary Harrison said Viola. Mark Hutchins said, and don't forget, Gretchen told Weaver in their first meeting that Lanston had Flint fatigue. I'm looking at Jennifer. All goes to this KWA. Look at who the board members are on the KWA. Trevor, tell everyone that eye-opening. My take is this: we were the thinking when that decided to use that river. They knew all the variables and the possibilities what the effects could have on the people in Flint. That's the only point I'm saying. I'm not going to say that they didn't know this was going to happen.
They ignored their whatchamacallit. They had people literally breaking it down, purple fucking dinosaur style form, but greed blinded them. They didn't think that there was going to be Legionella. They didn't think that there was going to be lead poisoning. They thought they knew better. Well, I'm elected. All right. Well, let's be very sincere and honest for a minute. Just because people are dumb enough to elect you to a position, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the smartest man in the world. Hell, you could elect me. If you are dumb enough to elect me, that doesn't make me smarter than you. That doesn't make me an expert in everything. But some of these assholes get in these seats, get in these positions, in these elected positions, and think that they know everything, that they know best. There's a reason in leadership it takes a real leader to understand that you have to surround yourself with people smarter than you in every subject before you make a decision. But the decision ultimately comes down to you, not to your experts. They had experts. They told them, hey, this will happen. This very well will happen. Oh, no. It'll be fine. We will take these measures. What measures are you going to do? Oh, we're going to add a additive to the water treatment plant. What's the additive do? Oh, it stops the smell. All right, the smell, kind of important to some people. The cancer, your lungs literally dissolving, a little bit more important to most people. But these elected officials knew better. Oh, it won't happen. They elected me. I'm smart.
They said Kansas Odell one is on the. Well, that is interesting though that we got people on the KWA that's on council and the mayor. That would be kind of.
That's
weird.
A pause. Judy Liddell, well, not Liddell anymore. Candace now, and the mayor. The mayor has 2 seats. One because he's mayor. One because he bought in. Judy gets one automatically because the way the KWA is set up. Your finance chair gets put on there while they're finance chair. And your city council president gets on there while they're city council president. Liddell just lost her seat on the KWA to Candace. Those are non-paying seats, though. Thought I'd put that one out there. Because Liddell, Candace, Judy buying into the KWA, I don't think that any of them have the money for it right now. That bond is through the fucking roof. I don't care how much money you allege that they've stolen. We allege that they've stolen. They don't have the money. That's millions of dollars to get on that board to buy a seat right now. But the way that these authorities are set up, which is their legal definition, is half government, half private owned.
And that's really what's going on in America. See, they privatizing it. That's why you're looking at Texas. The whole grid who own it is privatized. That's why you see consumer powers. That's why they can raise up. See what it is? They buying everything, and when you
The
have,
power grid, I don't think was ever nationalized, Mick, ever.
if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what that's the. I'm gonna have to go back, but I know they're trying to privatize a lot of other people's. If I'm not mistaken, Texas was. If it wasn't, because I was reading.
Texas has its own grid. I know that much.
Yeah, but
it's not on the national grid.
Yeah, but I thought it was at one time, or they took it off. It was supposed to be on there at one time before they privatized, because that's what they having. That's why they be having a lot of them blackouts. But I think California trying to go the same route too, where they want to privatize.
So
I think I got
privatization is of industries. Seizing the means of production is usually something you see in communist socialist states. U.S. has been diametrically opposed to that since pre-World War II. Pre-World War II, for a period after World War I, we dipped into it. That's where you get your Social Security, Medicare, things like that. Those social programs, which they could be far better, but they're better than nothing. Okay. But the United States is 99.99999% of the time been all about private owning, just like the railways. Railways were the biggest thing since sliced bread. Well, since before sliced bread back in their day. Those were all privately owned, but they were considered national and vital interest. But they were still privately owned.
And that's where you come into a lot of the problems at. It's just like they want to privatize the post office, the mailing.
No. You say that's where there's a lot of problems. I look at it the other way.
You have to right.
Because you take government control of, say, $94.7 million. How'd that go for us?
Here you go, right.
Inefficient.
Now go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh, I'm saying inefficient. Typically, I mean, at least with the private sector, you know what you're getting. They are for profit. When it comes to government, they try to, I mean, hell, this is going to be me poking at some Russians for a minute. In Russia, the entire industry of making TVs was controlled by the Russian government. They were so shoddily produced that they had a habit of exploding. When you have a government controlling something, and especially in charge of an industry, their sole purpose is to make it as cheap as possible with as many inefficiencies as possible. Take a look at, hell, I'll bitch about the military all day long. You will show up 15 minutes early to be 30 minutes early to be 5 minutes early to a formation that happens at 9 o'clock. So you're there at 7:45. Weird. Now that's where I differ, because at least with a civilian ownership, with a private ownership, there is an impetus on efficiency. And the more efficient you are, the less you have to pay to keep things up. In other words, if people don't lose their fucking power constantly, they are going to be more apt to come into my company. Just like auto dealerships or auto manufacturers. You have a competition between who's the best. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, all vying to be the most reliable. Whereas if it's just one, they don't have to compete with each other. They can just throw out the most basic random bitch shit box.
Ain't that
it's going to get bought either way.
With Amazon?
That's because Amazon has no competitors. No real competitors anyway. They have eBay, but eBay doesn't sell new products. That's usually a resale market.
That's the point.
When you have competition is when you get better product.
Yeah, but when you letting certain people buy it all up, you privatizing it. Like they got control of it, so they can play games.
Amazon was never not privatized, but
yeah, no,
I mean, then in that case, you're more complete, like, not about it being privatized, but more about it being a monopoly.
Yeah, but I give, even with the news, like it was never, was it set up for just 2 or 3 people that can control the news? Because that's what we're going through right now. That's why you can have certain information getting out and a lot of information not getting out. That's like why you think they can keep this water crisis down. I thought the president
got a monopoly.
State.
That's that's a monopoly issue, not a privatization issue.
Yeah, but it
Because
leads to that, though.
if you want government control of it, if you want centralized control of it, hell, you're already a huge proponent of don't trust the government. Do you trust them with your news? If they were your only purveyor of news,
who running
do you
the
think
news?
they're ever really, really rich people? But it's not the government. It's really rich people that have an interest in the government, but not the government itself. How do I know? Because every fucking day I see a negative story about some politician. Whereas if it was the government, you would never, ever see a negative story about a politician. Ever.
But is it really a negative story? I'm just saying, do it really be negative stories? Because it seems like ain't nothing happening. You might get, I mean, what type of negative story are you talking about? I can get a better understanding.
Epstein files. And mind you, nothing's getting done about it. But if government controlled it with all these politicians being involved with diddling kids, do you think that story would have ever gotten out? Ever?
That's why I'm trying to figure out how did it get out. And I remember Chris Caleb said there's some people in DC, everybody's not going along with Trump because, and I'm glad you brought that up. I'm looking with Alice.
There's another part. If the government controlled media, do you think there'd be so many just negative pieces about Trump? Whether it's the smallest, like he puts ketchup on his well-done steak, or whether it's, hey, this dude's a complete fucking shitbag. Do you think him running the government, the executive branch, would ever allow those stories to come out?
But who leaked them out?
It isn't about who leaked them. It's about who published them.
But
if the government controlled the media, you would never hear any of that. Period.
I say no, because you have people what they call, what do they call
whistleblowers?
But
who would the whistleblower go to?
But ain't nobody, because they seeing what didn't happen. How did this individual get the redacted? What I'm saying.
If the government controlled the media, if the government said you can put this story out or you cannot put this story out, you can only speak on these things. It doesn't matter if a whistleblower goes to their favorite news anchor that they think, may X, Y, or Z, that they may go out there. If the government says no, it doesn't get put out. Therefore, the government does not run it.
Well, this from Allen said, Dan Rather said something about George Bush. A week later, he was forced to resign. So we can't say
private stakeholders. If the government controlled the media, Dan Rather would have never been able to open his mouth in front of that camera. It would have cut to commercial, and then you would have come back, and he would have been gone.
So you saying the government don't run the media or nothing?
No, they do not. They have the FCC, which is for standards, so you can't cuss on air. You really can't cuss on radio for whatever reason. You can't even say damn on radio. But when it comes to controlling stories and media like that, no, the government doesn't control it. There may be private interest where, hey, you're my friend, fire him so I can try to push a bill for you. But at no point does the government say what story can and cannot be pushed unless it is a national security issue, such as what happened in El Paso, I believe it is earlier this week, where they said they're shutting down the airspace for 10 days. And then they opened it up like 6 hours later. We still don't know why. A large group of people are saying it's because of a cartel drone flew over the border. We don't know. That is national security. They can cover that. But when it comes to who can talk what, take a look at state-controlled media in the former Soviet Union. You could not talk about the party. You would end up in prison for talking about the party on media.
Well,
Thank you, Zach. Just like we know that Mayor Neely has friends and interest in the Flint media, but he can't control it, right? That's why, who was that wonderful investigative reporter that linked up with Wintus Nate 10?
Ronnie Dahl.
Ronnie Dahl. She came out with a couple stories. They could not stop those stories, but then they put her on desk work, and then eventually they forced her to quit.
They stressed that woman out.
They forced her to quit.
Yes.
But the government The city government didn't control that. That was a Neely friend that controlled that.
Oh, let me go see this for you right here. This coming from Mark. He says, I don't know, Trevor. Historically, oligarchs are the de facto government. Oligarchs are running the news right now. Because there's certain things you can't say. That's just like Barry Weiss. I forgot, but we've been talking about this. What was the Oracle, the company that bought up the Washington Post, and she catching flack right now because her people like they couldn't write none of what's going on with Israel and Palestine, the Palestinians and the Israelis. They couldn't talk about that. And now you even seeing how they even buying TikTok.
Her personal bias.
No, I'm saying somebody bought it. I was just saying that the people who bought it.
Okay, but the people who bought it, that's their personal bias, right? That is not a government saying you can't talk about this. Now you go to Israel, you're only going to get the stories that Israel wants you to have. Why? Because Israel actually has a nationalized media. Now, if you want to hear what people are saying outside of Israel, but still in the same region, look up Al Jazeera, which is, I believe, partially owned by Qatar, but they're still one of the most open. And influences, let me see. Trump influences the media and they do what he says. Don't that mean he's controlling it? Let me look something up.
I'm looking at with her also too. Denise Cousins, look at your fight now holding positions. You came from the media.
Let us just
I mean, listen, when you the president, because remember, Bush got Bill Maher took off, and he would end up going to HBO.
Oh, nope, that's the wrong one because yours is still up. I need to remove that. Add to stage. Okay. This is a black guy for Trump. DHS on track to shut down over immigration enforcement fight. Right. And I know my screen's screwy. I use a different web browser. Bitterly divided Washington is headed for its third government funding lapse of Trump's second term. They threw Trump's name in there. That's a black guy for Trump. He doesn't control the media. I know you want him to. That way you have a boogeyman. The government don't control it.
They don't set
Otherwise, they wouldn't be putting negative stories out there.
They don't set the narrative or none. The media don't.
The media does. The government don't control the media for us.
No, I'm saying, do they set the narrative for what the government might want out there?
They can. They can. But like I said, if government controlled the media, Trump controls the government right now. He is the head of the executive branch. You would not have media putting things like Trump beginning to hit pockets of rebellion or other such fun things like this. U.S. crime and justice. Despite search for Nancy. Okay, no. All these are Nancy Guthrie. Let's go to politics then. After letting Trump abuse it for a year, legislative branch shows a little pride. If Trump controlled the media, which he controls the government right now, that wouldn't have ever been posted. And this is CNN, one of the largest. Hell, it is the standard for news. This is what everyone compares themselves to. And it is owned and operated in the United States.
See, fire him so I can push this bill for you is the definition of government control.
No, that is the definition of private interest. That's not government control.
Remember, from what's his name speaking out, he damn near lost his job. They took him off for 48 hours. What was his name?
No.
Then he ended up coming back, but certain stations wasn't picking up his show. And what was his name? He was doing a Charlie Kirk situation. What's the guy name? The guy in the trouble. He went off for 48 hours.
Fuck if I know. I never watched 48 hours.
They tried to pass initiatives to curtail what can be said on platforms. Facts.
They tried and failed.
No, certain things you can't say on these podcasts, and you will get jammed up. You can lose your monetization, get your channel.
That's YouTube. That is a private entity.
Yeah,
and
but
trust me, like Elon Musk is getting hemmed up in Europe right now because he's not conforming to their rules.
Jimmy Kimmel, that's his name. Jimmy Kimmel.
Wasn't he on the Man Show?
No, he got his night show. Remember, he got
back in the early 2000s on Spike TV. He was on a show called The Man Show. Great show. Boobs and beer everywhere.
Who was that told the press in New York in the 1930s, do not say anything about the disease, was it smallpox, and when the media did not put it out, it went away. It's coming from Raphael Byrd. Yeah. Said, who was that told the press in New York in the 1930s, do not say anything about the disease, wasn't smallpox, and when the media did not put it out, it went away. I mean, we know a lot of stories that come out that the media go along with, and they don't say nothing about it. So it's like we can't say, some of us might don't want to agree with it, but I'll give you an example. Didn't the media go with who killed Dr. King? Oh, all the media went along with it. Then when it came out, you starting to see, but that was just
wouldn't the media still be going now with what they went with back then?
Yeah, but I'm saying, but they went with government. Remember, they went with the people told them. The same thing with John F. Kennedy, the magic bullet. When you can watch it, but what the media go with the magic bullet.
Now they
question, but
they don't go with no magic bullet. They go with Lee Harvey Oswald.
But if you go look at that, they'll tell you even on Lee Harvey Oswald say that was a setup. But ain't the government controlling that? I'm just saying, if you go watch the documentaries, I'm just saying, come out of what you look at. I'm just saying, go look at the different ones. They didn't wrote books about this, saying Lee Harvey Oswald didn't do that. And we can go with that. Now, they didn't wrote books on that. Even the people that
There's
was
another
there,
aspect right there. You just brought it up yourself.
Yeah.
Books are part of media.
No, I'm saying
would they not be subject to government censorship? So you wouldn't get these books with the quote conspiracy theories, would you? It would all confirm the same thing. Lee Harvey Oswald took one shot when everyone heard four.
That's what the government.
They would say that's what the government says. But if the government controlled the media, including books, you would never get those documentaries, those private documentaries. You would never get those books. None of them.
Oh, you got another one. Here goes Sherry Allen said, Trump tried to fire Jimmy Kimmel for talking about him. Isn't that trying to control the media? I mean,
is Jimmy Kimmel fired right now?
He was for 48 hours.
For 48 hours. Is he back on air?
And then they did his show not going to be in all the places it once was, because there's people that's with Trump, they not going to put it in all the places. Good morning. What's up, Coretta H? Thank you for tapping in. It said Lee Street brings back bad memories for me, especially the bottom where the security door was. Let me see. Big corporations control governments, and governments control the media narrative. The Teamsters had to get cars driven and parked at a lot on Leaf Street and move cars by truck from there. There was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, they say we can sit up here and say we can be in denial and act like they don't control. Yes, they do. They're just like the mayor here. What did he say if Channel 12 did something? They was lose access to him. So a lot of stories won't get put out there. They're not going to put out there all the stuff with certain stuff. I mean, this is on a small scale. And why you think people around the world, because we didn't talk about this, around the U.S. think the water fixed. Because what? We got Gretchen Whitmer going on saying that the water's fixing Flint. And what people thinking? Do you see any of the news? You have to go outside of Genesee County. Now, you do have people down in Detroit, certain ones who do be talking about the situation is bad, but who can control in the media in Flint in Genesee County where it can't get out, where they are blocking it down? Who controlling that? I mean, it's come. I mean, I'm not saying I could be right. I'm just saying it's coming from somewhere. Somebody controlling something.
That's not in question.
Yes, I mean, it's somebody doing it. If we looking at these lobbyists, you know what I'm saying? Just look at who put money into these. Dude, it takes me back to when during the Vietnam War. Wasn't that LBJ had his wife's trucking company over there doing business deals? I mean, they were supplying like because I'm thinking it was like how Halliburton was owned by Dick Cheney doing the Afghan war, whatever. And they was doing stuff. So I'm just saying, it's like, yeah, I'm just saying,
Entire sentence. All right. Let me look up LBJ real quick and his wife's trucking company.
Yeah, wasn't they used over there in Vietnam? I'm looking at the Sean Ford. I'm saying rich people supporting rich politicians. That's our censorship.
It wasn't a trucking company. It was a construction company.
So they was over there building over there then. Was he getting government money?
Unsubstantiated, likely stemming from her known business acumen in media. She operated a radio station and invested in land, not logistics. Rumors of ownership. Some hearsay suggests she had a hidden ownership of PA&E, a company that built infrastructure in Vietnam. Other ties. Rumors have also incorrectly linked her to being a major stakeholder in Bell Helicopter, the maker of Huey, or construction firms like RMK/BRJ.
Let me see this. What Denise Cuss said. Anyone can find that the water was changed earlier when Granholm was still governor. They gave early retirement to all the OGs at Water Department to save money. They said 2002 to 2004. Let me see. All the big wigs at the white shirt event being seen. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you can't. How do you think we get this some of this stuff when you get people who break off and go to telling? Like I told you, along came the pale horse. The guy, what was his name? William Cooper, if I'm saying it wrong. He was in on some of the stuff he knew. But you get people who turn out and don't go along with everybody, but they usually knock them off. Just think about what was the guy named Webb about Rick Ross when he was talking about how the government bring the drugs in. He supposed to shot himself in the head twice with a shotgun. I mean, but they didn't want that story out. Yeah, you do. You get some people who be independent and to put some stuff out and still get took out.
Okay. Here is what happens during actual government control. I had to look this up to make sure I remembered it correctly. Sending a message criticizing the Chinese government can lead to immediate message blocking, account suspension, police interrogation, or in severe cases, detention, as WeChat filters, monitors, and censors content for users registered with Chinese phone numbers. Violations can result in penalties like warnings, fines, or up to 15 to 20 days in detention. They will outright delete your fucking message, say it was delivered, so you see it was delivered, it never gets to its recipient. That's what I mean by government control. Now, special interest playing fucking politics on the background, that is not government control. That's individual control. That's corporatism. That is not government control. I think we're getting our words mixed up here.
I'm looking at what Zachary said. JPOE, my relative, worked at the Flint water plant, used to tell us if we saw what actually in the water, we wouldn't drink it. He retired in the 2000s, deceased now. So I mean, so stuff do be covered up. I mean, I don't know why we be, you know what I'm saying? Can they control the media? Did they want that out about Reagan numbers and Oliver North was bringing drugs in? Thank you for the $20 super sticker. Hope Veasley in the building. Thank you, beloved.
Here's the deal. If government controlled media, you would have never heard of that. Even with whistleblowers.
Yeah.
Whistleblowers would have never gotten that story out. It would have been word of mouth, going down the street and telling people.
Who knocked him off and then said he shot himself in the head twice with a shotgun? So evidently some people he pissed off putting that out.
Pissed off, and yeah, they fucking killed him, but that's not media control. We are on two different fucking subjects right now, Mick. I am reading book A and you are reading book B.
Yeah, because
I am saying there is not government control of the media in the United States. The government cannot dictate what you say on this. They can try to pressure you, but they cannot outright block you. You can see that they tried pressuring them to fire Jimmy Kimmel, and it failed. Jimmy Kimmel's back on air instead of in a detention center somewhere. You are saying, well, what about whistleblowers? If a whistleblower came forward and the government controlled the media, controlled the airwaves, You would not be able to say anything that they do not want, period.
Okay, let's go with this one then. What about when they were showing the bodies back from Vietnam and they didn't want them showed on the live on the news no more and they stopped? That ain't government controlling that, telling them to stop?
That's respect and decency of American soldiers.
Nah, that's keeping the moral up before we can keep this war going. Let's call it what it is, because people was going against it when they started seeing bodies coming back. That's what it really was. They didn't want they didn't want them talking about seeing the bodies coming back. That ain't no decency. They'll show any other time they'll show bodies going through. That wasn't decency. That was trying to
They
keep.
still don't show American soldiers' bodies. Like, they blur it out. They blur it out. Now you can see body bags and coffins, but you don't see the body itself.
Body bags do not disrespect. But they did it for a reason. They didn't want it on there. Let's don't say they did it for it was disrespect. No, because if we're going to go say that, damn, when they going to open up these tombs and everything, media there, they not like, I just find it, like I say, family, I just find it how we can just come up with excuses on certain things. You know what I'm saying? But it might not control it to the way we said you will be led that way. I want to know if this is true. I used to DuckDuckGo if I want to get info about this area.
Don't just use one browser. If I could show you my whole screen right now, I've got Microsoft Edge open. I've got Opera. I've got Brave. And I've got DuckDuckGo. Actually, DuckDuckGo has recently been implicated by being in control or controlled by Google. So you're still going to get the same thing. They just tend to tailor your results a little bit differently. Once again, that's not government control. That's personal control. ABC, the company that owns Google, owns, I believe, something like 51% of like 40% of the companies around the world. And they have major stakes in a lot of governments. That's not government control. That's businesses controlling governments. There's a bit of a difference there.
But let me say, no, you're right, Zach. You're right, because they not gonna. But you can find out like some of the show people that be some of these anchors that be on the shows be ex-military. They be on these news shows. Some of them they be bringing on there. You look at like retired generals. They come on there and they be giving. I mean, to me, they bringing people on there that's gonna keep what we assume. Because they're going to keep it to the way it's going on. Like, they're not going to break against this. The little stuff we hearing about Trump. Now, the Epstein files, I think that should be a big thing people should be looking at. Because I'll go with it again. Look at all the other people you have locked up for the same crime. And I mean, and how we just brush it off and say, oh, well, I think that goes to, I believe it goes to the ones who run in this country. It goes to the top. It's saying, what I do, you can't do. But we'll go along with it. And that's just my humble opinion. It's no more different than what you seen during the plantation. Like that, and we was having this conversation earlier. When they sit up there, like I said, about if it's a civil war, you know what I'm saying? The conservatives and the liberals. Let's be honest. If it's gonna war, who is gonna benefit? And I had this conversation with you, who is gonna benefit? Because, see, we don't want to be honest and say a lot of these laws that we fighting against, you know what I'm saying? Even when we went overseas to go fight, you still coming back. It's still racism here. I'm not going to sit up here and say, just like we saw the one guy running around, he was in Dearborn, now he done ran down to Minnesota. For my relatives who fought in the wars, they done fought at World War I, II, in Vietnam. Man, my people ain't go over there to keep some shit like that where you can come over here, we can have an all-white town, or you can come over here, get mad. Like the Klan, they still benefiting from this thing called America too. See, we not being honest with that. We want to kind of leave that out. We always want to leave this out. You got to understand some of these freedoms and laws. And if you go look during the South, they was not fighting to free black people. Let's quit that bullshit there. Let's stop that right there. They was not fighting. So that when you see the liberal and the conservative beefing, who was they trying to help? So if the conservative get control, is they gonna shut down all that racist talk? I'm just trying to figure it out, because as we fight, they still They still got their freedom of right. They can march down any towns they want to go march in. We fighting for them too. That's what I'm looking at. Because as we fighting in these wars, ain't none of this shit stopped. You can go back into the 30s and 40s and go look in the South Carolinas where you had to put your head. They was called laughing barrels. If a black man wanted to laugh, he had to put his head in the barrel. See, because I'm like, when we fighting for them wars, that's still going on. Like I said, I could pull up again. There's plenty of videos on how they was treating the soldiers over there during the Vietnam. Like I said, you had soldiers. We didn't even got to go to Vietnam. We can go with World War II.
So older.
But that mind state is still there. I could pull up one in 2025 where the young girl was in the military, what she said, because I played that already on the show. They still having these problems with racism in the military. That ain't stopped. But how come? That's what I'm saying. How come that ain't stopped yet? You're not gonna get that because that's what they not focused on. You, Zachary, you might didn't live on a plantation. You might didn't, but you never was off of it. You might because you see it differently because now you was able to move out in houses. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed, Zach. You can, ain't nothing changed. Mess around and make the wrong turn. And let's see where they treat you like they was treating people back then. So and like I said, we can say, but shit, you see it, go to your courts and see how that shit paying out. All you gotta do is go look. We at it right now. All you gotta do is go find out. That's why I try to do no wrong. I ain't got time to go in no courtroom and put my belief in 12 people that's not from my neighborhood. Listen, I know you have. Because it was a time we couldn't go past Hamilton Street, but we went on the plantation because the plantations ain't made up how they was back in the day. They bigger. They come communities. You had a section you lived on. They had a section they lived on. There's a reason we had white flight, whether we want to accept it or not. We got sundown towns. All you got to do is go look at the makeup of it. I mean, we can say this. We can go around and dance around this thing all day long. That's just like with the media. And I'll give you that, Trevor. You saying because, like you said, the government ain't gonna let us know who control it anyway. Let's be honest. And a lot of times, these big billionaires, they go, like I say, go watch this movie called The Tulsa King. Go watch that movie called The Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone in there.
I believe that's a series, but yeah.
Yeah, the series, my bad. Go watch that series and go see when that who he battling with. And listen, it was the one guy, he sicked the U.S. Attorney General on Manfredi. That's who Sylvester Stallone playing in this series. Sick the U.S. and both of them was growing weed. And that's the thing. They both, you know what I'm saying, in the grow business. And
I got another one for you. Go watch Banshee. Watch Banshee. This is a show that a convicted felon steals the identity of a sheriff killed in a bar fight, and he starts running a town. He runs across, well, they aren't Klansmen. What are they called? Fucking skinheads, neo-Nazis. Puts them down. He runs across fucking just about every color of every flavor of every kind of fucked up you can think of. And he goes through and he tries to A, keep his secret, but B, he's also fighting an establishment. The very first season, he's fighting a man that controls not just the legal industries in the city, but also illegal industries. The guy happened to be ex-Amish. Now, is the government controlling things or is the money controlling things? That's where you and I are, I think, splitting here. Because I don't consider the government to be the money. I don't consider the money to be the government. I do consider the money to control the government, though. There's a big difference between how that works.
Mm-hmm.
That's like saying water controls gravity or gravity controls water. The chicken or the egg.
Thank you, Miss Tia, for the $9.99. Zachary, I know you want to say you done everything. I ain't done that. I've been called a nigga too. I've been pulled out the cars, arrested for no apparent reason. But I'm just telling you, I still know the stories that was passed down. Like I said, I was born in 76. I'm not naive. Just because I wasn't there when you got it got did to me. You should feel bad for that. for me being caught, if you've been caught and your daddy been caught, you should feel bad if I've experienced it and it's still going on in 26. I mean, like if it happened in 1940 and it happened in 2026, it's still wrong. I just want you to get that concept of it. We still experience it to the day. It didn't stop when it didn't stop with you, brother. That's all I want to say. Let me see what Cuz said. Of course, there is a government controlled by surveilling and listening to everyone. But people,
every Congress, not president, even though they endorse it, but they don't get to vote on it. They just get to sign on it. And they could veto it if they damn well wanted to, except it was override or it was veto proof. Every Congress since 2001, Republican, Democrat, Independent, all of them have re-signed on the Patriot Act and extended its powers. Now, if it was as scary, I mean, it is terrifying, but if it was as controlling as we thought it'd be, I'd be in prison right now for some of the shit I've said, especially on this podcast.
And reason I put up the Tulsa King for you, Zachary. I know you're trying to get your one-liners in. Reason I put that up, I was just showing you how I was using as an example that how the billionaire was able to control a politician. That's the reason I use that as an example. I know that might have went over your head a little, something, Zach. But I ain't gonna even let you throw me off in 2026. You still trying to get your get back. I get it. I'm just something, man. Listen, but that be really our problem right there, family. When you can get blacks not to agree on what's going on, you got some who think it's over with. They went through it. It's done and over with. That's the sadness when we seen what happened up here doing the Mitchell boys. What happened? Oh, for sure, cuz I know that. And that just show you where the silliness at. But you had a mayor say, no, I can't offend my voting base. He didn't say it was the black base, but this is what you get, I mean, everything is good, fam. That's how I look at it. Everything is good. That's why you don't see they look at the Epstein files like that ain't nothing. What up, Kevin Tay? That's why they act like the Epstein files. It's like, it's just, we ain't gonna worry about that. But y'all, I watched everybody that they had R. Kelly and Bill Cosby was on the news every day getting dogged out. Every day. Even us was dogging them out. They dogging them out. Not me included, because I won't go. But you have people look like me. Oh, Bill Cosby, when it come to them. Now, we talking about the Epstein, you got to let it go. I'm looking at how the news was reporting it. Even listen to Ro Connor, what he said, oh, them was young girls. No, them was babies. So you got to look at the little wordplay they be putting in there, how they want, oh, them was young girls. No, them was babies. When you seeing how stuff going on. But I get it. I get it. I get it. So, Miss T with the 499. Shout out to the freight train and the drivers on Red Mill Road, 185 truck stop. Shout out to the people out there. And thank y'all if y'all listening to the morning recall. I'm just saying it's a lot of stuff that we just overlook. It blows my mind how people can overlook stuff. It blows my mind what went down there, what happened in Georgia with a boy, Kenneth, where they found his body wrapped up in a rolling mat, organs missing. It blows my mind. It blows my mind when I see that what happened to the young brother down in Mississippi. Came out, organs missing, but you got they saying it was suicide. It just blows my mind. No, Zach, I know it's not over, but you were just trying to tell me I'm talking to you. You lived. I'm just talking. No, every generation of blacks this here going to experience racism, but you forgot that part about it. That's the problem. We want to compare back then to back. No, it's not better. We more fucked up now than we was back then. But we'll have people. A couple Negroes, because they feel like they done made it out. Oh, they doing this. That's like I was saying. They throwing goddamn black. They throwing all these black galas and shit going on, but yet you seeing people freezing in the Regencies. Yet you seeing people out here, not just white, blacks too, out here freezing in the streets. Are you serious? But they partying. This why I say with the black folks, we done lost our conscience because they let us get in their military. They let us come to their boats, move in their neighborhoods. We feel we made it. I don't give a fuck if you're on the West Coast and you left the East Coast. You're black, you're gonna run into racism, regardless how you want to look at it. But we sit up here and act like, oh no, we didn't. We here. No, we not. We not even tripping off that. And really, the Epstein files are just showing you what's been going on. This ain't nothing new. Nothing new. Like I told y'all, I heard Anna Navarro talking on The View for 1 year. She experienced, well, our people been getting, what the fuck y'all think we been getting did to us? We just showed a video earlier where last summer, did y'all forget when the lady was sitting up here, when they showed when she was hollering Winter's name and said 810, how they went and kicked down the wrong fucking door again. And then sprayed the damn brother had used like it's normal for them just to spray blacks with cans of mace. We didn't see nothing. They chasing our teenagers down. I'm not saying all of them is saints. I'm not saying it, but they teenagers. At the end of the day, they ain't building these detention centers for nothing. But we sit up here, there ain't nothing wrong with it because we can go see a basketball player, go shoot a hoop. Why you think they want more athletes than they want thinkers? Go look at all your great thinkers they done tried to knock off. Look at all the people they try to play down and they put up in front of our face. This who coming to us, but yet we don't know who really running things around here. Let's just be honest with that. Which one we talk about, Kerry? We talk about the Kenneth Johnson that went down in Atlanta, Georgia. That was, Georgia, that was what, 12 years? Right, Zachary. People freezing all over across the country. That's why I liked it. I can't think of my man name, Raphael, when they was doing what the Hollywood Stars was at. Like he said, how we having this and people starving out here? All the madness going on. But that's what we done got so sensitive at. But we ain't, but they ain't gonna highlight that part. They don't highlight that part. We only highlight the part that we think, because these few did it. Just look at your NBA players, NFL players. They'd rather go spend $30,000 or $40,000 3 or 4 times in a club, making it rain. How many of them gonna try to clean up their neighborhood? Because that's not in their mind to go back and fix your community up. Every other nationality, when they get there, they know to go, hey, we coming here to do a job. We got to fix our community up. They just now experiencing what we was experiencing when you want to build your own stuff. I just don't know how we stopped doing it. From the Tulsa, Oklahoma, to the Rosewood, to Bronzeville, Chicago. There's been plenty of other, I don't know what they, I guess if you've been getting your ass whooped and been getting knocked off, you try to stop. What's up, sis Audrey? Thank you for tapping in. You've been getting whooped so long. You buy right into what's going on. This is it just blows my mind. Miss Tia, she said, Trevor, thank you for acknowledging the truckers, $1.99 super sticker. I'm looking at this. Even when Obama was the president, that congressman screamed you a lot. They forgot the governor of Arizona came and pointed in his face. So let's quit that. That shows even at the top. And that's supposed to be the crew to cry when you're the president of the United States. Because he was a black man, he still got showed no respect. So let's quit acting like these pictures Obama put up. I mean, not Obama, Trump showed, but it was a little video that he didn't make, but he put it on his what's name. They had pictures of Michelle Obama as a monkey already before that. Do y'all want me to go pull up the cartoon characters how they depicted us? Do we got to go through this whole minstrel stroll every fucking time? I told y'all. I sat up here and watched The Sopranos. I love The Sopranos. I didn't really look at it and see what it really was. When I seen it, when I stepped up and seen like, damn, go on YouTube, you can go pull it up and really see how racist you know what I'm saying? But it was really showing you really how America really was in that era during the time what they was doing. See, we weren't thinking about, you didn't think about, they was calling them ends in New Jersey. We just be thinking they calling them ends here. Everywhere we at, we're going to be in the dynamic of it. We on the bottom of it. I don't give a fuck if it's in Alaska. When you look at the we on the bottom of it. I'm just saying how I see it. Even when it comes to the laws. Like I said, 12 years for this mother to come find out her son, they wrapped his ass up in a blanket. I mean, can you imagine 12 years? It's more of them, Zachary. It's more of them. But I'm just saying, look what happened to the brother in Mississippi hung and his organs was missing, but the coroner said it was suicide. That's how I don't know if we're gonna ever change this situation. You know what I'm saying? If you fighting for some, fight for that. Hell, I keep telling y'all during World War II, go look, when they collected the Germans, what did they do? The Germans was able to eat in the mess halls, and what about where the blacks had to eat at? It's just showing you, even though they was the enemies and they was shooting at each other, they still respected them to let them eat in the mess halls and the blacks couldn't. But that's the military.
When they weren't being summarily executed in a ditch, sure.
But you still treated the people that was over there helping you fight. You still let them come eat with you and let the other ones sit on the back. They couldn't eat with you. And I got that. And like I said, I got that story from, I listened to the minister, but my grandfather was in it. How he said they got treated over there. That's why I love that movie, A Soldier Story. Because this ain't nothing new how they was doing it. Remember, I asked you, I said, how would, on that video, I said, how would the Viet Congs know to call these people the N-words and all that over there? Where did they get that from? And I asked you that.
A lot of ways, but first way I can honestly think of, since we were at war with them, I mean, espionage. Seriously, Hanoi Jane, fucking Jane Fonda. People like her sympathizing. Hey, you want to really cause a divide? Call the black people this. Now I'll get them pissed off. Rightfully so, obviously, right? I mean, shit. That's a word I've refused to use.
Yeah, but that's the view you got from it.
Well, that's
but why would
it's the same thing with Afghanis, right? When I was in Afghanistan, they tried calling Cabrera that word. Little did they know Cabrera is actually, deep Hispanic from the Caribbean, so he gives no fucks. Sergeant Tiller, on the other hand, I can't say anything. I don't want to ruin his after career reputation, but things got settled. But I mean, there's also the point that American culture has gone worldwide. Anything in America, you can, hell, go on YouTube. You can see videos of even how recently Black ICE agent getting called N-word by some trans something odd another liberal. Actually, I think my wife sent it to me. Now, why would a liberal be saying that? It is what it is. It's terrible, but it's a way of hurting someone on a deep spiritual level. It is showing them that you hold the absolute most contempt for them, that they are less than you. And it doesn't matter which side uses it. They still use it for the same reason. Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal.
Yeah, I've been saying that.
Arab, black. I mean, whoever uses that word against another person, granted, it's always directed toward a black person. It is meant to say that you are lesser.
Oh, no doubt. But that's the point that I was making. But I go with the 10 of it. They learned that from people over here. I just can't see that they just was listening to all of that and they just picked. But see, they learned to hate and kept it going. That's the problem. They learned the hate word. Even when they got here, they still learned the hate word. But you got any last words, Trevor? Because we got to get out. It's 2 hours.
I'm just wondering what the hell is worse than that word that Tia's talking about. Hispanics calling people that. I don't know what's worse than that word. And I might know a little bit of Spanish and how to cuss some people out in it, but I can't imagine a single thing worse.
Yeah, you got a point there.
But no, that's got me. I'll catch you guys Monday.
Yeah, Monday. I'll see y'all.
Well, I'll catch y'all Monday. He's got you Sunday.
Yeah, because Brother Elliot will be on Sunday, and I think Just the Thought will be on Sunday.
And you guys have been denied Mr. Elliott content this entire week. We're going to blame Mickey's bad health, not Mickey himself.
No, remember, I had to go record. Yeah, yesterday I was hurting, but I had to go record the ENA board was supposed to come on Tuesday. So he did that for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm out, family.
Later.
Peace. I had my child.